In this episode, I'm going to look at a 5-message digital announcer that I got from IC Station. Perfect for, say, ham radio contesting, or making announcements in your waiting room, or announcing for customers, or even for music on hold with custom messages that you can record on your computer. It's a pretty neat little device. Let's check it out. So I have another little gadget here that arrived today to take a look at. This is kind of a cool little device, and this is it here. It's an announcement module, and basically what you can do is you can have up to 5 pre-recorded messages on this unit. And when I first plugged it in, I was laughing because it was all in Chinese, but it's really simple to load, and I'm going to show you guys how to load a custom message on here, because it's basically just a standalone MP3 player, and you can load it with a USB connection to your computer, and it just plays standard MP3 files. So what I've done is I've created some MP3 files to load onto this thing, and I've got them on my little memory stick here. I'm just going to grab my laptop. We're going to plug this thing in. I'm going to download the messages onto here, and then I'll show you how it works, and we'll take it apart and see what's inside this thing. All we need to do is plug the USB plug in. We don't need power to this to do this. We just plug in the USB plug, and the computer will detect it, and it will show it as a removable disk. We open it up to view files, and there are files in here. So we'll note that the files are called 0001 to 0005. So I'm just going to load my USB stick, and I've created 5 new messages that I'm going to put on here because these ones here are in Chinese. So I'm just going to open up the folder here to look at my new content. So I've got my 5 files ready to drag over, and I'm going to drag them over here. Don't have enough space. I'll just delete these files first. The original files, we'll delete them. So now I've deleted this. This thing only has like 4 megs of space on it, right? So I've now deleted the original files, and now I can drag the new files, copy them over to the little speaker unit here. It's not very fast memory in this thing. It's actually quite slow. I'm only copying about 3 megs of data. This is pretty slow, but hey, it's something that you normally would not have to do much. And what these units would be good for, a couple of different things. I guess maybe in a waiting room of an office where you could have an announcement going on it, or at the door when someone walks up to a door, it could announce. You could have this triggered by a motion detector, for example. Here's the files have been copied. Let's go and hook this thing up and see what it does. So we connect it up to power, red to positive, and black to negative. You can feed it with 12 to, I think it says 12 to 24 volts we can feed it. So now when I trip by touching one of the wires, there's 5. So the codes on them is message 1 is white, message 2 is yellow, message 3 is orange, message 4 is green, and message 5 is blue. So when I touch the wire here, we should hear. This is a sample of this little door announcer that can play up to 5 separate sounds depending on which wire is grounded. What you do is you plug it into your computer and you load the files 0001, 0002, 0003, 0004, or 0005.mp3, and then the corresponding sounds will play when the appropriate wire is grounded to the ground terminal. That way you could have it play an announcement at a door, like for example, announce your office hours or whatever you want. You can have 5 pre-selected messages that can be triggered remotely, and it's quite simple to set up. So I'm just doing this sample recording because this thing came with all kinds of Chinese stuff in there. You plug it into your computer, it'll populate it as a drive, as I can show you here, and then you're free to record whatever you want or transfer whatever you want to the internal memory, and it will play out through the speaker. It'll play your message, just kind of how I'm doing it here. So that's basically how this thing works. Check this out. What can I say? It's a door announcer. Now, it could also be used for things such as music on hold on your telephone system, where you could have 5 different messages, and while the recording is playing, you could cycle between the different messages. Let's to check this out and see how well it works. So I recorded a long message for message number 1. And then message stops. And to play message number 2. This is recording number 2 on this little device, so you guys can get a grip on how the unit operates. It can store 5 messages, and it can, well, I'll explain it on camera, but it can cycle through the messages. You can go 1 forward, 1 backwards. You can have it replay the same message over and over, and you can have it in a repeat mode where it'll just repeat all of the messages. So let's go and do some more recordings. That's message 2, message 3. And this is message number 3. So we can cycle through and see how they work. Great little unit if you want to have like a music on hold or an announcement system in your waiting room. You can have your messages recorded and just play in a looped fashion. The unit features 4 megabytes of storage. Can store 5 messages, and again can be played in sequence, 1 message at a time, or in auto repeat mode. This is message number 4. And we'll do 1 more, just so we can demo the complete unit. And of course, the 5th message. So this is test message number 5 on this little media player announcer unit. Again, can be used as a music on hold or to announce messages in your office or waiting room. Great little unit, easy to program. Just download your MP3 files using a standard USB cable. And we'll just check out all the different features on this thing. Okay, so that's the basic functions. That's the normal mode where you trigger 1 message, and this could be useful for example, you could have an announcer in an office triggered by a door opening, like a magnetic switch on a door. So when a client walks into a waiting room, they're greeted with a message and some music, and you can store up to the maximum of the recording time of the chip on there. Or you can have multiple messages. Now, obviously, this could even be interfaced into a telephone system to play messages on hold. Very inexpensive, cheap way to do it. Now, this is the basic way on how this unit operates. But there are other modes of operation. And to get at that, all I need to do is take this thing apart. So let's pop the top off, or pop the bottom off in this case. I guess we're going to be popping the top on this one. There's some dip switches inside that can be used to change the operation of the unit, and it makes it more useful than what it is how it comes out of the box. So here's the unit itself. If I pull the board out of here so we can take a look at the actual unit, get that speaker out of the way. Here's our dip switch selector, and in the mode with all dip switches turned on, right? All switches on, it will play the sound as soon as you start it. So if I start number 1, this is a sample of this little. If I touch it again, this is a sample. It will start little, that message again. That can play same with 5. And this is message number 3. And this is message. Now every time you trigger it, it will play the message, and it will play it until great little unit if you want to have the message ends. That's 1 mode. There are 3 different modes of operation, 4 different modes of operation. If we turn dip switch number 1 off and power cycle the unit so that it loads, it will play the entire file in full, and it won't let you restart it. So if I start playing this message, this is recording number 2. You notice now? This little device, so you guys can get a grip on how the unit operates. So this one would be useful if you're using it as a door announcer, so that if the door opened again, it wouldn't start the message over. It would just continue until that message was finished. Now you can start another message though, right? But it just won't restart that same message. Press number 2 again. It'll go back to number 2. This is recording number 2 on this little device, so you guys can get a grip on how the unit operates. It can store 5 messages, and this is message number 3, so we can cycle through.
The unit features 4 megabytes
So-
of internal storage, can store 5 messages, and again can be played in sequence.
I'm going to stop it here. But so that's the second mode of operation. The third mode of operation is if I turn off switch number 1 and number 2 and power cycle it. When I turn off switch 1 and 2, it will play all files continually. So this would be good if you just wanted this as an announcer to play over and over, and you could have anywhere from 1 to 5 files on here. So when I trigger this,
the unit features 4 megabytes of internal storage, can store 5 messages, and again can be played in sequence, 1 message at a time, or in auto repeat mode. This is message number 4, and we'll do one more, just so we can demo the complete unit.
now in this mode, there are only 3 wires that are operational.
And this is message number 3, so we can cycle through and see how they
The
work. Great little unit if you want to have like a music on hold or an announcement system in your waiting room. You can have your messages recorded and just playing in a looped fashion or repeating the same message over and over.
the white wire now becomes a pause play. So
This is recording
it'll keep playing
number 2
till I stop it. So in this case, you can stop and start the recording,
on this little device,
and it'll stop it right where it left off.
so you guys can get a grip on how the unit
Right?
operates. It can store 5
It will
messages,
also-
and it can
The yellow and orange wires will take you back.
This is message number 3. So this is recording number 2 on the, and this
Okay.
is message number 3.
You see?
This is recording number 2, and this is message number 3. The unit features 4
That's
megabytes
number 4.
of internal storage.
Number 5.
So this is test message number 5. This is a sample of
So-
this little door announcer.
So in this mode, the orange wire advances to the next message, and the yellow wire
So this is test
goes
message
back to the
number 5.
previous message. So forward and reverse, and play pause.
Can be used as a music on hold.
So that's this mode of operation.
Office or waiting room. Great little unit, easy to program. Just download your MP3 files using a standard USB cable. And
The last mode is with all the switches set to off, and that is just, it'll play one file and then it stops. So you select your file.
this is a sample of this little door announcer that can play up to 5 separate sounds. This is recording number 2.
It'll play through them all, but it will stop.
So you guys can get a grip on how the unit operates. It can store 5 messages, and it can, well, I'll explain it.
So in this
But it can
mode-
cycle through the messages. You can go one forward, one backward.
In this mode, it will play one full message, but you don't have to hook up all 5 wires to have all your messages. If you've got 5 messages, it will play every time a wire is connected to ground. It will play another message.
And this is message number 3, so we can cycle through and see how they work. Great little unit if you want to have like a music on hold or an announcement system in your waiting room. You can have your messages recorded and just playing in a looped fashion or repeating the same message over and over. The unit features 4 megabytes of internal storage, can store 5 messages, and again can be played in sequence, 1 message at a time, or in auto repeat mode. This is message number 4, and we'll do one more, just so we can demo the complete unit.
Right? Then the next one would be 5.
So this is test message number 5.
I believe the yellow wire on this one also puts it in the reverse mode.
Again, can be used as a music on hold or to announce messages in your office or waiting room. Great little unit, easy to program. Just download your MP3 files using a standard USB cable. And we'll just check out all the different features on this thing.
So that was message number 5.
The unit
Message
features
number
4
4,
megabytes
right?
of internal storage, can store 5 messages, and again can be played in sequence, 1 message at a time, or in auto repeat mode. This is message number 4, and we'll do one more, just so we can demo the complete unit.
And if I touch this, it should be message number 3 when it finishes playing.
And this is message number 3, so so we can cycle through and see how they work. Great little unit if you want to have.
None of the other ones do anything, right?
Announcement system in your waiting room.
The blue and the green, I don't think these do anything.
In a looped fashion, or repeating the same message over and over.
I don't think these do anything when it's stopped either. I could be wrong, but yeah, these ones don't.
Oh. And this is message number 3.
So that one repeats.
See how they work.
White repeats the last message. Orange moves to the next message forward, and yellow moves to the next message back, but it only plays the one message.
Or repeating the same message over and over.
And that's pretty much this unit. It's pretty straightforward. If you were hooking this to a music on hold on the telephone system, obviously you would just connect the speaker leads here to the audio input on your phone system for music on hold. But that's it. Link to this is on the bottom of the page here. Neat little announcer that I'm sure some people probably will find a use for this little unit. Another great use for this unit would be for ham radio operators for contesting. That way they could record their contest message that they're repeating over and over when they're trying to make a contact during field day and other contests. You can have 5 messages, have 5 push button switches, and have it send that message out every time you press the button. It's a neat little unit and it has great sound. Now, I recorded my sound in a studio, so that's why the sound quality off of my test recordings was good. But it does play high quality MP3 files, and I think for the price, this is a no-brainer. It's a great little unit. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.